On this edition of Motorcycle Experience, an OPP constable makes some abrupt turns. While on this season's Ultimate Ride, we find the perfect pullover spot during our Gaspé tour. Then in our Winging It segment, touring expert Ken Edick has some expert advice on avoiding saddle sores. And Shifting Gears editor Jenn Martin flips the thermostat with some great advice on warm weather riding apparel. All this and more as Motovan presents Motorcycle Experience.
Hello and welcome to Motorcycle Experience, the voice of motorcyclists everywhere. I'm Dave Hatch, and this week we'll kick off our show by sampling the very latest generation of this puppy, the Honda Valkyrie.
When it comes to motorcycle touring, Honda Canada knows a thing or two about traveling really long distances on two wheels. I mean, they pretty much forged the luxury touring category mold 40 years ago with the launch of their groundbreaking Gold Wing. And as a result of their engineering development on the wing, Big Red also knows a thing or two about horizontally opposed engines. So when Honda transformed their 1500cc liquid-cooled opposed 6 touring machine into a power cruising package back in 1996, Honda fans went nuts, and the resulting Valkyrie became an instant cult classic. Fast forward some 17 years after launching the first Valkyrie, and Honda decided it was high time to roll out another head-turning, aggressively styled power cruiser based on their newest generation wing, using its steroidal 1832cc flat 6 power plant. So how does Honda's luxury tourer turned power cruiser formula work the second time around? Well, let's ask veteran rider and original Valkyrie owner, Dave Fox.
So Dave, you're a Valkyrie owner, you have an original Valkyrie, and I thought it would be so much fun to put you on the updated, new and improved, brand new Valkyrie. But you really do love your Valkyrie, don't you?
Well, I've said this before. There's my wife and my immediate family who I love, and then there's my Valkyrie. I've had it for 13 years. It's the first generation Valkyrie, 2001. A wonderful bike. I've ridden it so much, and every time I get on it, I enjoy it so much. I've ridden many bikes, different kinds of bike, different size bikes, different brands, partly thanks to you and your show. I still go back to my Valkyrie, and there are no regrets.
So let's talk about the engine, because this is certainly many generations away from your motor. What did you think of the engine? Very smooth.
It's obviously more cc's than mine. It's 1800 versus the 1500. Mine is 6 carbs. This is fuel injected, but you can tell there's more horsepower. Not a lot, but more. There's definitely, when you first accelerate or let the clutch out in first gear, you want to hold on until you get used to how quickly things start to get into gear there. You could virtually launch this bike despite the size of it, and you could leave your passenger lying on the highway if they weren't expecting the launch that you caused.
I know the bike has plenty of cruising power, lots of torque. You've got to stop this bike too. What did you think of the brakes?
Well, this model has ABS, and so the roads were wet this morning, and we stopped a number of times. Lots of stopping power. So despite the weight, despite the size, despite the torque you've got and how quickly you might be moving, lots of stopping power there. There's no issue. You never felt like the bike was getting away on you.
How did you like the riding position in the saddle, the foot pegs, just the riding impression?
Again, comparing to the first generation, that's what I liked about mine, and I still like about it, and this one is the same. Your knees are bent, so you're like sitting in a chair almost. The seat's comfortable. It's wide, but it's comfortable. So the sitting position, your leg position is such that you could ride for quite a while and not feel like you're stretched out, reaching. The handlebars come back, as you can tell very easily just by looking at it. The handlebars come back enough that you're not reaching for the bars either. Yeah. It's very comfortable that way.
Dave, let's talk about the instrumentation. You know, obviously with the larger wings, the Gold Wing and the F6B, you get full instrumentation. In the terms of the Valkyrie, they've gone just with the pod. How did you like that?
I liked it very much, no matter what the lighting condition was, and we rode in rain today and we were standing here in the sunshine. The digital readout, as small as this might look, you can read it very well. It's positioned perfectly because when you're sitting in the seat and you're riding along, you don't have to lower your head. You can lower your eyes a bit, but you can very quickly determine your speed. You can determine your revs. You can determine the time and the fuel and so on. Much safer than some bikes that have the gauge down in the tank or have it smaller or somewhere that's just configured differently.
Yeah.
So it's very safe and very friendly.
You know, David, clearly this is a marquee motorcycle for Honda. The fit and finish to me is spot on. What did you think?
It's great, high quality. Today after riding in the rain, we cleaned the bike up a little bit, and you were commenting, or someone was commenting, on how with a dry rag I was able to bring the finish back
so quickly.
So there must be a good paint quality on there or a good wax or something, because with a dry rag I was able to get a lot of the road dirt off to make it look as good as it is right now. So excellent finish.
So Dave, clearly this is a muscle car, you know, it's a power cruiser. Who would this appeal to?
It'd have to be for an experienced rider, not a beginning rider, because you've got, well, you said it, you've got a lot of power here, a lot of weight here. It's just so much fun to ride. It would be for someone, I guess, who's probably been riding for a little while and who knows that they like a cruiser versus a sport bike, and they want something that's more like a hot rod.
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Will this bike replace the Valkyrie that you have at home in the garage?
Well, not right now. We're going on a trip. Someday, yes.
Yeah, it could, maybe?
Maybe it could, you know.
Yeah.
In fact, I'd almost be tempted, this is a terrible thing to say and sounds selfish, but I might even keep the other Valkyrie because it's just so, I'm sentimental when it comes to certain things.
Yeah.
And then another one of these could sit beside it.
Big brother.
Or sister.
Or sister. Nice job, Dave.
Thanks.
Hang in there, we've got plenty more experience still ahead. Next, touring expert Ken Edick doesn't wing it when it comes to protecting his butt. While Norm Wells and I pull over for a scenic photo op on the south shore of the Gaspé Peninsula. Portions of this broadcast are brought to you by Harley-Davidson, BMW Motorrad, and Honda Canada.
Welcome back as Motovan presents The Experience. I'm Dave Hatch, and it's time now to get some sage advice from a million miler who has owned some 7 touring motorcycles over the past 42 summers. But before we do that, let's catch up with Norm Wells and this week's Ultimate Ride. Today we're riding along the Baie de Chalais as we explore Gaspé.
So as you know, this season during our 14th Ultimate Ride, we've been in the province of Quebec exploring the Gaspé Peninsula, with our ultimate destination being the famous Pierce Rock. After picking up a couple of BMW K1600 GTs in Quebec City at Moto Vanier on day 1, Norm and I have been making our way east until we reached Rimouski, whereupon Norm decided we should turn south, crossing the body of the Gaspé Peninsula to pay a visit to his sister in Matapedia. After a wonderful home-cooked lunch, we then turned east again, riding the southern shore of the Gaspé on Highway 132, before pulling over to soak in the scenic Baie de Chalais a few clicks west of New Richmond.
Well, Norm, here we are sort of mid-afternoon, 3 p.m., and if you squint just through the trees there, you can see the peak of the church in New Richmond. And certainly Matapedia is quite a ways behind us, and it's been really nice riding.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we came through and went through Matapedia, that kind of turned us now towards the Gaspé Peninsula coast, and we got our first glimpse of that when we saw Baie de Chalais, which is a body of water that touches both New Brunswick and Quebec down at this end.
Yeah, and before we talk about that, New Brunswick, we sampled the longest bridge just as we left Matapedia. It didn't seem all that long to me.
It's definitely a local joke. It took about 30 seconds to cross the bridge. But the joke is when you've crossed the bridge, there's an hour time change.
Right.
So the bridge is an hour and 30 seconds long. So
right.
We got had.
We got had, but I can attest, my BlackBerry did switch over to a new time zone.
Mine.
We were in New Brunswick very briefly there, and then we headed east on 132. And as you said, we got our first real sighting on our right all the way into New Richmond. Gorgeous scenery as we were looking at that bay.
Yeah, absolutely, and every time we came around a corner, it was just a new view too. It's just something different each time. And now again behind us, it's something new. We came around, here to New Richmond, and boom, there it is again. So
yeah.
I think it's going to be an interesting few days ahead of us.
Yeah, we stopped just briefly at that bird sanctuary back, I think it was near Mont Saint-Joseph, and got some photographs there. I tweeted out a few shots, but I just couldn't believe the vista. We had to stop.
Yeah, absolutely.
So from here we turn, I guess, sort of north 299, and you've been talking about this all day. We're heading into the park, right?
Yeah, and this again now is another option point for if you're here for a few days. You can go straight along 132 and continue along the coast and
right up to
hit
Gaspé.
it that way,
yeah.
or you can do what we're going to do today and go up 299 through the Gaspé Park,
Right.
which is a very mountainous region, and really looking forward to it. It's supposed to be some pretty spectacular riding in there.
Well, our ultimate destination for today is Saint-Anne-des-Monts.
Yeah.
That's where we've got a hotel booking for this evening. So we're going to take our time now. We're going to sort of coast our way in. A couple more hours ahead of us, and we'll look to see what it looks like when we get up in the park. Maybe we'll stop up there for another stand-up.
Sounds good.
All right, let's keep going. Awesome. Be sure to join us again next week to see how this ultimate ride progresses. Meanwhile, this summer, Honda Canada is celebrating the 40th anniversary of their iconic Goldwing. And as a result of that, we're celebrating the art of touring all summer long with a little segment we call Winging It. So Ken, during our Wings Over the County event, you let me ride your Goldwing, and I couldn't believe how different the saddle felt to this brand new Goldwing. Have you done something to the saddle?
Yeah, I ended up spending quite a bit of money on an aftermarket custom seat. But I got to tell you, first off, the OEM manufacturers have come a long way in seat reconstruction.
Right.
The first one I had, we used to call it an upholstered brick.
Right.
But when you spend a lot of time in the saddle, you're always looking for something that might be better.
Yeah.
And I tended to go with a company who does that and only that. So I suggest that they put a lot of time and effort into it.
Well, it was certainly a really interesting experience to feel something different like that changing a saddle had such an effect. But there are other things you can do to extend your riding day.
For sure.
In terms of when we talk about the butt.
Yeah.
So what have you got here? This looks like something you'd see in a cab 30 years ago.
It's old school technology. It's been around forever. A lot of people say a million cabbie drivers can't be wrong.
Right.
But the old beaded seat on top of the upholstery, so you don't lose from the structure of the seat for support. Mm-hmm. But just getting you up that little bit will either introduce air underneath for air circulation on a hot riding day.
Right.
And even better, if you're in a torrential downpour and you've got your rain suit on and everything, these seats tend to hold a lot of water.
That it can puddle up a little bit.
It can. Well, I'm that much above high tide, and sometimes that's all that matters.
Right.
But yeah, it's something I've grown accustomed to using, and I can switch from having it and not having it just by putting it away.
Wow, so cool. And then this, you pulled this out. This is sort of a modern day version of that, I guess, but this thing is weird.
It is.
It's like a water bed or something. What's going on in there?
There's all kinds of stuff in technology of seat performance, and this company, Airhawk, came up with this design, and it's actually a series of air pillows.
Oh, like
inside.
air bladders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So each one of them is an air bladder that you can adjust by blowing in here, and you can make it extra firm. This is like your dial by number bed.
Right.
You can make it extra firm, you can make it extra soft, or anything in between.
Right.
And if the valve is even just sticking out the end just a little bit, you can change it on the fly. Can't put it back up, but you can let a little out.
Right.
And they have them in different sizes for the different seats, be it a cruiser, be it a sport bike, be it a touring machine.
Mm-hmm.
This one's longer for the type of the bigger bike. Typically the pillion seat is much smaller, and it'll be this. But you can sit this way, you can sit this way. It's very, very adaptable. And for space conservation, let all the air out of it, roll it up, even within its fabric protection. It does a superb job of giving you a different ride.
Wow, this is really a far cry from my, hey, I wear my bicycle pants that have the padding inside the crotch. This is incredible. So this really helps you. You would give a testimony to this and say this works.
For sure. For long distance riding, anything you can do to change, because one of the ironic things is we'll be riding, and everybody's hurting a bit.
Yeah.
We pull off, we go into your local donut shop, and we sit down on their Arborite seats, and you go, that feels pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, it's different pressure in a different place.
Right.
And that's all you're doing here is give yourself a little bit of variety, because you can't move around like you can in a car.
Great long distance tips. Thanks, Ken.
Still ahead, round 5 in the Ultimate Yamaha Challenge. And we'll get some very important apparel advice for tackling those hot summer days.
Welcome back as Motovan presents the experience. It's time now for this week's installment in the Yamaha Ultimate Challenge. Today, OPP Constable Anthony Mann is staring down challenge number 5. He'll have to turn that clutch into a throttle.
Okay, so this summer we're putting the riding skills of one OPP Constable Anthony Mann to the test by putting him through a series of motorcycle riding challenges designed by Matt Fletcher of Yamaha Canada. Matt hopes this friendly competition will help all of us to become better riders while at the same time show us how to explore different ways we can use our motorcycles out on the open road. Anthony offered to take on this competition in the interest of public safety, and today he's all set for challenge number 5.
Well, Anthony, it's a beautiful spring day at the Picton Airport. You ready for challenge number 5?
Yes, I am.
You're shaking.
I'm shaking. It's not nerves, it's the cold.
Okay, well, what do you got for us, Matt?
We've got the stop zone tight turn challenge.
The stop zone tight turn challenge. I see the recipe cards are gone.
Right.
We're now using envelopes.
That's right, yeah.
Okay. So this one, we've laid out a course for you. You're going to be making a hard right, a hard left, and then you're going to be turning around and coming back again.
Okay.
Okay, Anthony, there's no timing on this one, but it's very tight. Keys here, don't touch the ground, and do not knock over any pylons or you're going to lose the challenge.
Okay.
Any thoughts on your key to success?
Not looking down. In this something like this, you're looking down. I'm going to face disqualification, I think. Eye lead, body positioning on the bike, and keeping my eyes up and looking where I want to go.
Okay. Don't forget to feather that clutch and keep the revs up. That'll help keep your bike stable,
Absolutely.
okay?
Absolutely.
Okay, anytime. Whoa, that was close. And go. Nice. Well done.
Thank you.
What did you think?
Certainly, the eye lead is crucial. If you look down, I'd face disqualification.
Well done. You made that one look easy.
Thank you.
Let's watch that one more time in slow motion. Remember, look ahead to the corner. Weight the pegs. Use the rear brake to control your speed and keep your revs up for stability while feathering the clutch. That's a lot to remember and it takes practice, so why not find an empty parking lot, preferably on a warm day, lay out your own little course and give it a try. Anthony says practice is key. Heck, he killed this one with a visor full of snowflakes. Okay then, despite all the flurries in that last segment, stay tuned because next, professional riding instructor Jenn Martin has some great advice on warm summer season riding gear. Stay with us. Portions of this broadcast are brought to you by Harley-Davidson, BMW Motorrad, and Honda Canada. Welcome back as Motovan presents the experience. I'm Dave Hatch, and now that we've got you all fired up to go for a ride, we'll wrap up our show by looking at how to dress for those warm midsummer rides. Joining us now is the chief riding instructor at Georgian College, Jenn Martin.
So Jen, this season we have spent a lot of time talking about gear and equipment, and it's all been about extending your riding season and getting the most out of your motorcycle. And we're talking about those shoulder seasons, spring and fall. What we didn't really talk about is the middle of the shoulders, and that is the summer itself, right? There is a lot of technology, a lot of gear available now that really helps you out in terms of riding in the middle of the hot summer.
Yes, and I cannot wait for that heat, I'm telling you.
It's going to happen.
Yes.
So let's start with something that both of us just went, wow, what a great idea. Tell me about this vest.
Okay, so this vest, designed to wear underneath your gear, you can dunk it, and what it does is absorbs the moisture,
Right.
stores it, and then releases it and evaporates, so it keeps you cool.
That is unbelievable. So when you say dunk it in a tub of cold water.
Cold water.
Yeah, or sink of cold water. That's amazing. And this is now extending to the beanies, right?
Yes.
Underneath your helmet?
Yeah, so
same deal?
Same deal. I mean, on or off the bike as well, and on the helmet on or off afterwards to keep yourself cool. And they have the baseball cap too that you can dunk and keep yourself cool. And the other one that I really like, that I enjoy, is the neck. So again, you dunk it in cold water, and it stores the water and moisture and just releases it as it evaporates.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're dunking, we're staying cool, we're keeping our cool hands. What about our lower body? You've pulled out a couple of pairs of jeans.
Yeah, so these ones, again, this is their FXRG.
Right.
Yeah.
Function
Extreme riding gear.
Okay, so abrasion resistant.
Yeah.
They look like you're wearing a normal pair of jeans.
Yeah, and they're lined, fully lined inside as well.
Yep. And then there's the pockets, right?
Well,
for the
so
armor.
this is fully abrasion resistant denim and has the armoring already in it. But if you don't want that, because they're pretty durable.
Yeah.
For a lighter version, you've got your denim, but you can put the pockets. You can put your protection in there.
Right.
They have pockets inside, so you can slide them in.
So it looks like you're just wearing a pair of jeans, but actually you're all armored up underneath.
Exactly.
Amazing. Let's talk about this.
The wicking, the moisture wicking. Yeah. So
again,
performance
staying with
gear.
the performance gear. This will obviously absorb a lot of the sweat.
Yep.
Keep you cool.
I'm wearing the liner underneath as well, the same idea, the wicking, so that lends itself into what they were talking about, venting.
Right.
Right.
And lastly, something that's so cool is this new jacket. This it's part of a triple vent system, right? This jacket.
Yeah.
They've actually, Harley Davidson has actually designed a jacket that has zippered, you can open and close the zippered vents, both front and rear, and it's actually in tune with the motorcycle. They've looked at the motorcycle and the way it's flowing the air, and it actually is designed to pick up the airflow through the motorcycle. So you've got the vents that you can open and close on the fairing, and then you can start out with this zipped up when it's cool. When it gets hot, you open it up and it actually grabs the air that's flowing through the motorcycle.
Yeah, and it works with the shirts as well, because I have one here. This is the male version. I know you're gonna love this, but the airflow through here. So the triple vent. That's the system.
Right.
And then as well, like the shell that I have.
Right.
It works the same way.
So they're all vented to grab the same sort of airflow that's coming through the fairing of
And
the
keep you
motorcycle.
cool and protected. I mean, that's the key.
Wow. So we have come so far from the days of denim jackets or worse, t-shirts on a hot summer's day.
Exactly. You can keep yourself protected and secure on the motorcycle.
Lots of great technology.
I know.
Awesome. Well, that's it for this week's program, folks. We're all out of time. If you're looking for more experience, why not stop by our website, motorcycleexperience.ca, and join our Riders Club. Till next week, keep your feet on the pegs and your right hand cranked. Bye for now.